Why are rent payments looking like mortgage payments right now? No perks, no nothing. You don't get no washer, no dryer, but they want to charge you $2,200 a month for rent?
Indeed.
Come on, y'all got to do better. At least include something, a washer or a dryer, or even the lights, or even water.
Child, please. This is an apartment. I ain't your man.
Even include that anymore. I hate to complain, but I might as well pay a mortgage payment. $2,200 just for rent? That is a mortgage payment. Get your credit right. Get whatever you need to get right, because $2,200 is a mortgage payment.
Now, I agree with you 100% on that. Facts.
You might as well go ahead and buy you a house. It just don't pay to rent anymore. It just does not pay to rent anymore.
I'm with you because rent is going to continue to go up.
Can we be serious and talk about rent right now and how insane it is, specifically in Boston, Massachusetts, to get a mother effing apartment?
It ain't just in Boston, young lady.
Jesus. So I just wanted to walk through for an apartment. It was $2,000. I'm like, okay, like, it's a nice area. It's in Quincy. It's near, like, the highway, all these things. But what's not included is, like, I don't get, like, a washer and dryer and unit, like, whatever. I'm like, let me keep my options open. Maybe I'll like the place more when I see it in person. There was like 3 or 4 units that I saw on there that looked like they were available. So I get there and it's unit 16. When I tell you I walked in to the apartment, I'll probably put a video of what it looks like as I'm speaking. You walk into the apartment, it is the entire kitchen and dining room area.
That's what you're paying for.
Like, there is maybe like 2 people who can fit simply like standing. The bedroom was a good size, the bathroom was a good size, but it's like, for the people who want to host or do little things, why can I only fit 2 people in my kitchen?
Because that's what you can afford.
One step over, that's the end. There's 1 window. And I was like, at this point, this place should have just been advertised as a studio. Like, let's call it what it is. Then everything else is like $2,500 and above, just for like basic necessities. You don't get a washer and dryer. You just get a bathroom, a kitchen, and a room. And sometimes they're not even nice. They're not done up. None of the above. Like,
He who rents the apartment makes the rules.
Like, versus if you're going to like a DC or something else, you can get something way nicer, maybe even more rooms for $2,000. But Boston is just extremely mother effing expensive right now, and it's frustrating for those of us who want to get out and leave. I was also having a conversation with my friend earlier today about how we are the new adults. Like, we are in our late 20s, early 30s, and we can't afford houses. Apartment rent is mortgage. Or there was an incident where like, if you're not making 3 times the rent, which is already expensive with your current job, but you can afford it, they still won't offer you the unit. And they're building all these condos all over the place. Who can afford that?
Everybody ain't struggling, young lady.
If y'all got hacks for like looking for apartments or units, or like, it doesn't matter, like the rent, whatever, to make it out here, and I've been here my whole life, okay? Let me know. Okay, as a fellow Bostonian born and raised, because it is tough out here. Like, you can make enough, but then not qualify. And then you're qualifying for apartments that have things that are barely the bare necessities. Like, if I'm paying $2,000 for an apartment, I better have a washer and dryer and unit. I better have space for hosting things, like at least 10 people in my home, a nice sized bedroom, and the bathroom I don't really care too much about, as long as it's like somewhat renovated. I'm not asking for a lot, okay?
You asking for a house, young lady.
You want to move. You're doing what you can. What are you guys doing as a resolution to deal with the rent here? Like, are we just leaving? We out and dipping? I gotta be out? Like, what? Y'all let me know.
Well, young lady, first of all, let me say this, because I have a daughter. I'm a girl dad. I'm not trying to be rough on you, but you got some realities to deal with. And here's the deal. You may have to move around from where you grew up. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anything of that nature. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. So one of the solutions, you may have to move out further. And a lot of people struggle with that because you are an incumbent. So that's the immediate answer to your question on how you can remain in the area where you grew up when costs are continuing to increase. Before I go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert, 20 plus years as a mortgage lender nationwide. And that's what qualifies me, in my humble opinion, to speak on this subject. Secondly, also a landlord. I'm really qualified, opposed to a lot of folks that may come across your timeline. My goal on this channel is to simplify the home loan process. Now, back to the young lady and the first lady that we reacted to on the video. I get it. I hear it. I really do. But we're about solutions and not just wandering in the wilderness. So, a young lady like yourself, this is another solution. Folks are staying with their parents longer if that's an option. And as a young person, if you're in a situation where you're out being productive, you're in the workplace and you're building your financial base, stay at home if you can. If you have that good relationship with your parents or parent, so that you can stack those monies, because that's very important. That's the launch pad. More so for people who aren't coming from a position where your parents are able to help you out in that area. The way they can help you out a lot of times is with the housing, because that's your highest, most expensive cost. Hopefully, that is something that could potentially help those of you that are in her age range to navigate this situation that a lot of people find themselves in. If you're out of the house and you find yourself in these places, you have to move out further from the city center, because she mentioned it in her video, all the condos that are coming up, who's buying them? Everybody ain't struggling. As I said, respectfully, there's folks with money, your age and older, but a majority of the homes are being bought by the baby boomers. They have a lot of money. They're doing a lot of transacting. All right. And so you got to play the game. You got to get in where you fit in and not waste your time lamenting about the problem. The third thing you have to do is you have to increase your skills. I'm going to use the internet because you're on the internet with your video. Do you know how to monetize TikTok? See, that's a business. Instead of consuming and using it as a platform to holler, are you doing it on purpose? That's what a lot of people are missing. I just did this video where I was really addressing that point. These folks that are speaking to your pain and your fears are doing so for a reason. They're gathering an audience, and I guarantee you they're going to monetize that information in some shape, form, or fashion. Everybody's on the boogeyman bus. AI, and these folks are gathering my data. You guys are parroting these things, but you're not using it to your advantage, and it's not saturated. The internet is everywhere. And the deal is this: less than 3% of the people that hear this are actually going to do something. It's easier to complain and say it's somebody's fault that I'm in the position that I'm in. You have to take care of me. And you guys are going to be the ones that are always in need. And I'm trying to help you change that in the most real and respectful way that I can. We'll just leave it there. And I'll ask you guys that are watching, what are some other solutions that people can implement to increase their income? Because that's the problem. We understand the budgeting and the debt and cutting things, but there's only so much you can cut because inflation is in full effect. It's high across the board with pretty much everything. So there's only so much you can control there, right? On the expense side, we have to start generating more income. And that's just the truth of the matter, so that you can get onto the housing ladder. Quit listening to all these gurus telling you don't want a home, okay? Because number one, in my opinion, it is a forced savings account. And most people are never going to make enough to invest significantly to really make a difference. That's a pipe dream that they're selling you. And it seems easier now than getting into a home where that rent that you're saying is like a mortgage that you're paying is actually buying you equity. And if something happens and there's a hardship or something coming down the line, guess what? Opposed to renting, you can sell it. So there's ways to get out of the situation. Quit listening to these folks because there's an agenda behind their message. And that's my challenge to you. Find the agenda. And I'll tell you what my agenda is for you to choose me if and when you want to purchase a home. We live nationwide, and I do these videos to educate, but also so you could get to know who I am, the fruit on the tree, understand what my character is. And again, I'm practicing what I preach. So if you're ready now and you would like to find out where you stand as far as becoming a homeowner, the next step is this. Click the link in the description, schedule a consultation, and let's have a conversation about what your goals are. If there's a fit, I can then instruct you on your next step so that we can help you realize those dreams. If you're not ready, watch these 2 videos, continue educating yourself until the time that you're ready to reach out. Let's be good to one another. Let us let grace abound. And most importantly, you guys stay blessed. Indeed.